What I enjoyed most about my PLO was getting the opportunity to design a group work programme. Control and authority was a big role while I was on placement, but I realised that getting the residents involved was the best way to prevent resistance. Therefore, we decided we would carry out a group work programme based on the transition from hostel life to community life. And although it may seem unrealistic to get male offenders to make paper mache money boxes and make key rings, it's what they enjoyed. And there was lots of positive feedback from it. But what I enjoyed the most about it was I was able to develop the skills that I lacked beforehand, such as challenging inappropriate behaviour and ensuring appropriate boundaries. And it gave me the confidence to develop my role within the unit. What I found most challenging on placement was the development of professional working boundaries. There was one resident in particular I was working with, and he continuously tested my boundaries at the beginning of placement. And initially I didn't realise that it was actually grooming behaviour that he was showing, and it made me realise that my friendly personality was being interpreted differently from him, and it made me realise I had to stand back and challenge this behaviour and show that it wasn't acceptable. I did struggle confronting the behaviour. I therefore used supervision and the use of my team to give me the ability to challenge this behaviour, because I had to confront it and explain it wasn't appropriate. Just because I was young, I wasn't going to allow it to happen, and this therefore enabled me to work for the remaining 12 weeks of my placement with him, with a professional working boundary. During placement, one piece of work I found interesting was key working one resident in particular. Before I was allowed to work individually with him, I had to build a relationship up with him and get to know him before I was allowed to read his case files and see the extent of his offences. During that week I felt that he was grand, he was a good guy, he was willing to change and get on. However, when I then read the case file, I did feel, oh my goodness, here I'm going in to do individual work with a sex offender, and my head did start spinning again, as if, how am I going to do this? But the more I read the case file, it made me realise the complex lives these individuals had led. In particular, this one guy had mental health issues, had brain injuries, he'd lost his parents to cancer, he'd lived such a complex life, and I was just judging, everything I was judging him on was his offence, and I wasn't taking into consideration all his past life. So theories of like systems theories and attachment theories were vital whenever I was working with this one client in particular. One tip I would give a student going into this placement is to go in with an open head and accept the individuals for who they are, because I went in as a 20-year-old thinking, who's going to listen to me, a young girl? But really, because I treated them as individuals and worked with them and showed them respect, they were willing to engage with me, which therefore enabled me to carry out the whole social work process and have successful outcomes at the end.